All right, getting back into it. To recap, George Washington is going to win the first presidential election in the Electoral College by getting 69 out of 69 electoral votes to become president. That's a lot. So we're left with the choice now. We have to select a vice president. And it wasn't exactly a job a lot of people wanted. In the Constitution, the vice president's only job is to have a pulse, which is good because that means you're alive and you're living and life is great because you're still alive. And like, if you're alive, life's good, but then you don't really have anything to do. And that'd be kind of sad, boring, not fun. Anyways, Thomas Jefferson himself, who was at that time serving as a minister to France, made the comment that he highly believed that George Washington would be selected as president, and that in order to balance out the ticket, you would have someone from one of the northern states to be the vice president. Washington, of course, was from Virginia at the time, which is the biggest state in the South. And in order to balance out the ticket, there was a large number of people who were looking to be vice president. The person who wins the vice presidency is John Adams. He wins 34 electoral votes. Now, it's very important that he only won 34 electoral votes. If he would have gotten 35, he would have technically tied to become president of the United States. They wanted to make sure that didn't happen. They wanted to make sure that in case Washington did not get the number of votes he needed in the Electoral College to become president, there wasn't anyone who could challenge him to be president. So John Adams receives 34 votes. One elector makes sure they don't vote for John Adams, and then the remaining votes were split between 10 other candidates. The 10 other candidates, 9 of them were people who would be considered Federalists, people who supported the government. One, George Clinton, would be considered an anti-Federalist, and I think he received like 5 votes, like not very much. The other thing to remember is that during this election, it wasn't a popular election. And by that I mean, it wasn't an election by the people. The Electoral College was seated by state legislatures who were voted on by their people, but it was a representative election. In fact, that people voted for their state legislatures, the state legislators voted for the electors then voted for the president and the vice president. So it wasn't done in the way elections are today. In fact, I think there were only 2 states at the time of the 9 states that were able to participate because New York was unable to send. New York couldn't send representatives because they didn't get their new constitution passed in time. North Carolina hadn't ratified the Constitution yet, and I think North Carolina had yet to. New York, North Carolina, I think Vermont had yet to pass its constitution. They were like governing themselves as a republic and were like a breakaway, but whatever. So one of the most popular. One of the most popular presidents we've ever had wasn't even elected by the popular vote because the framers didn't really trust people to vote. We're going to continue talking about Washington's presidency and launching the nation in our next couple videos. Tune in. Like and follow if you like this kind of stuff, and